Questions for Coach Beard? I guess, if I'm not mistaken, I think 2010 was the last time you coached a game in the Tad Pad. I think when you were at Texas Tech. Just kind of what do you remember about that place and just what about that environment?
Yeah, it was a good game. I think the winner of that game got to go to New York City, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know what that is at the quarters or whatever, but AK was a personal friend of ours, still is. So remember seeing AK the night before the game, and during the game. I think it might have been an overtime game or kind of a one-possession finish. My first time to Oxford, definitely not my first time to Mississippi, but first time to Oxford. I remember kind of the college town. I think our hotel was on the square, and we're kind of walking around that morning. It was an evening game. Yeah, a lot of memories from that trip. Certainly disappointed we couldn't go to New York, but happy for AK because we knew how hard he was working to build the program here.
This week, the practice has been and the Tad Pad, just kind of getting them used to that environment.
Yeah, I kind of get one-track mind during the season, so I don't really know what day it is most of the time. But the last game was Tuesday. So yesterday was Wednesday, so we practiced in the Tad Pad. Day after a game is always more kind of a light type practice, shots and kind of getting the initial game plan in. But we did get the guys over there twice in the Tad Pad to start trying to get used to the environment. This morning we had a full speed practice. And later tonight we'll get some shots up. Open practice today at 5 o'clock for the students. We'll probably practice for about an hour this afternoon. We've opened it up at 5 o'clock. Also, Coach Evans and his wife arrived town this morning, and so Coach joined us with Mrs. Evans for the last 15 or 20 minutes of practice and spoke to our team. So all sorts of positives there. This is one of the real pioneers in our game. He's a legend. I don't know a lot of people know that, but maybe some people don't. It's obviously a great college player, and then got into coaching. I think at the time he was an assistant coach in college basketball. He was one of 3 black coaches in all of college basketball as an assistant. And obviously to be a head coach, different places, including here in the SEC, was just really a pioneer. He's a great American. He's one of the opened many doors for many people. So when you think of Coach Evans and his family, it's much more than just basketball. Those of us that know him or those of us that know of him. In terms of basketball, it's really easy to talk about. He's a National Coach of the Year, SEC Coach of the Year. He built the program here. When he took the Ole Miss job, it was at a certain level. And then when he left Ole Miss, he left it a million times better. Championship coach, NCAA tournament, NBA players, people on his staff moving on to opportunities, including head coaches. And so it's awesome to honor Coach, his family, his wife, all the players that played for him, all the staff members that were with him. So there's obviously a lot going on this weekend with this game.
Andy used to always joke about the Tad Pad, about the visitors' locker room, the hole in the ceiling, all that stuff. When you were there, what was your memories of just that part of it as an opposing coach?
Yeah, I take a different stance. I understand AK. I love it. I'm more of a historical guy. When I think of college basketball, I think of great tradition. I think of great venues. So you walk in a building that, had some great games, some great moments, some great individual performances. And so, no, to me, I remember we knew we were playing in an historic, older, classic college basketball arena. In terms of some of the wildlife that might have been in there from time to time. I mean, any of us that have coached in great venues. And, the Pavilion, this is the nicest facility in college basketball. There might be a few that are as nice, but there's nothing nice as this. And I think, the next step for us, us being all of us, is to continue to build basketball tradition here where one day the Pavilion's thought of in the same way as the Tad Pad in terms of the history of the game and all the memories that will be in this building and that have been in the Tad Pad.
I guess you kind of touched on it right there, but obviously not the first time having a throwback type of game, having it at previous stops. What kind of initially sparked that idea to begin with? Did it kind of coincide with basically what you said, or just about tradition and whatnot?
No, we've been doing this for a long time. One of the core values in our culture is to respect and embrace the past. You know, like the pavilion wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the Tad Pad, and the TUI Center wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the coaches and the players and the fans and administrators. I was like, to me, the first thing when you show up somewhere, not only in basketball but in life, is like, you know, acknowledge what happened before you. And I can't speak for others, but I can speak very clearly for us. It's a core value in our program. Every coach that we've ever followed, we appreciate that and build it. You know, whether it was Coach Cook at Fort Scott or Ingersoll at Seminole, or you know, Tubby Smith and Shaka Smart and Steve Shields and so many coaches along the way. I don't want to forget anybody. Coach Kimbrell, Coach Holmes, and J.D. Isler. It's all the coaches you follow, and it's the ones that you follow before who you follow too. Like Ole Miss basketball is Coach Evans and Coach Barnes and Kermit and AK and all the coaches before him, Coach Wetlick and many before that. And so I mean, you respect the past. Like it's why our sport is the sport. It's why we play on TV. It's why we have salaries. It's why players are benefiting from name, image, and likeness. It's why, I mean, the people that came before us built everything. And I think, again, I can't speak for others, but for us, I know no other way to build a program or to do things unless you respect and acknowledge the past. So it's important to us. And we really appreciate everything Coach Evans and his wife and family and players and staff did back in the day. And so now our job, we're the caretakers of this program, and our job is to win, to graduate players, and to build a program that everybody can be proud of on campus, in Oxford, in our state, in this part of the country, represent the SEC well. So we're in the early stages of doing this. You know, this will be our fourth game in about 6 months here. And but yeah, it all starts with acknowledging the past. And I've always been puzzled why coaches don't do it more. You know, you get these guys that get the job, and it's just me, me, me. I mean, like, none of us would be doing this if it hadn't been before that. And I think, like in the NBA, I think do a great job of talking about like what Magic and Larry did for that league, and before them, you know, Oscar and Wilt and all. And I think in college basketball sometimes it's like, you know, there's a lot of me in this game, you know, like self-promoters or this and that, and it's just not us, you know. And again, I'm not saying we're better than anybody else, but we damn sure respect who came before us. It's important to us. And this morning was awesome because you could feel that our players understand that too. I mean, Coach Evans talking about his time here and some great stories about how he built the program, and you could tell our players were locked in. So I hope we play well tomorrow night for so many reasons. There is a lot of emotion around this game, so we have to be careful that we understand it's a 40-minute game. But I don't apologize for having this event, because there's going to be emotion around any game if you're going to win and do what we came to Oxford to do. I mean, try getting to the NCAA tournament. There's a lot of emotion in that game too. So next step for our team is to maybe prove that we can handle a night like this. And so we'll have to play well tomorrow against a good team. This team has been around for a long time. Coach Marlin started it, Coach Hooten continued it, now Mudge is doing a great job. This is a program. Sam Houston State's not a one-year team or this player. It's a program. They've been doing it for a long time. You know, last year they won games like this, 2 BCS wins last year, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to get it wrong, but I know they won 2 BCS road games last year. And so this team has our full attention. Mudge is doing a great job. They got good players. We'll have to play really well tomorrow night.
I guess kind of along those lines, what type of challenge, how are they going to challenge you looking at their roster?
Starts with their experience. They're a returning team with a lot of veterans. I think they won 26 or 27 games last year. They made the postseason. They won a postseason game. Experienced players that played together. And then, like all good teams in college basketball, they added the right pieces. They added some real veterans, some guys that had accomplished a lot at their past schools, and now they to me, look like they're playing well together early. And so, so it starts with their experience. A great guard play. Point guard's a dynamic player that hunts assists, but he can always also score. They've got real wing options on both wings with experienced scorers. Four-man's a preseason player of the year in their conference type candidate. They got great size, starting big, played in the Big 12 at TCU. They got good players. And then they got an identity. They're going to pressure the ball, play great defense. They share the ball on offense. They got their connected group. So, yeah, Sam Houston State, you guys might know this. I know some of you guys are basketball guys. it's one of the best mid-major teams and has been for a long time. So, we scheduled this game for a reason. These are the kind of teams that we'll have to beat as the season goes on.
I guess a little bit off topic. You talked about Cameron Barnes redshirting. It seems like Jacob Galzo has been on the bench, if I'm not mistaken, in the last 3. Is that a redshirt situation or?
Too early to tell that. Same thing. Illness. It's going to be fine. Nothing like that. And we support him completely. And I can't wait to get him back. Talked to his dad this morning. Been staying in touch with Gazzo, so we can't wait to get him back. He's a big, big part of our team.
Any questions for Coach?
Everybody got a tap pad memory?
Lights went out in the middle of the game one time.
This is the 701 game. That's not a word. 701st? 701st game. That's interesting. Last game played there. I guess AK and those guys beat Troy in a kind of an overtime game. Sure, that game had a lot of emotion too, right? Last game. And so that was the 700th game. So this is 701. A lot of the all-time great players are coming back. The majority played for Coach Evans in that era, but there's also some other guys. Our plan is to continue to do this in early stages of reaching out to Coach Barnes and seeing if we can get him back. And certainly, Coach Wetlick and AK and Kermit and all the other coaches too. But it's a big night. 8 o'clock tip. I think they're going to open the doors 90 minutes before. But these students that have come to the first 3 games can get in, 100 minutes before. They got priority. And we'll go from there. And certainly going to introduce Coach and his wife before the game, and I hope our fan base rallies. My expectations will be a standing ovation and really feel good moment for them coming back. Then we got to go play against a really good team for 40 minutes. So appreciate you guys promoting it out there. That's my marketing hit of the week. Thank you.